Hey, are you working on an offer? Are you looking to significantly increase your sales, your profit? Maybe you've even heard of that elusive irresistible offer, but you're not quite sure what that looks like as a service provider in the online space. And how do you know if yours is irresistible? Well, every offer needs these 7 things that I'm going to walk you through in today's video. My name is Lauren Golden. I'm the founder of the 7-figure business, The Free Mama, where I teach moms how to grow and scale a virtual business from home. And having an offer that converts is a pretty important part of that. So let's take a look at transforming your offer into one that is irresistible. I have sold millions of dollars worth of courses and coaching programs and even in-person events and retreats over the last 6 years that the Free Mama has been around. So I've learned a thing or two. I've also read a ton of books when it comes to offers and business and marketing and sales. And as someone who didn't come from a business background, I had no experience selling before I became a business owner and really led with my heart first, my passion. It was really uncomfortable for me. I got a lot of advice that made me feel really gross and really out of integrity. So I want to make sure that we don't take that approach today, and that everything that I'm teaching you and all of these steps around how to make sure that your offer is going to convert, make more money, make more sales, get more people to say yes, is also going to feel really, really good for you while you help other people, but also fill your bank account. First thing that all of these irresistible offers have in common is that they know who they're for. So my first question to you is, do you know your audience? Like, really know your audience that you're talking to? It's really important that as business owners, we're not just creating something that we want or we think is really cool or we saw someone else do, but that we're really paying attention to the desires, the pain points, the things that the people that we want to serve, what are they saying? What do they want? If you're not actually totally sure about this, it's okay. You need to ask them though. And please note that not all market research is created equally. I see a lot of people posting in Facebook groups asking for feedback, but if it's not your ideal client or the audience that you're trying to reach with your offer who's answering, you might get confusing information. Here's another video that I made a while ago all about how to do market research the right way. This is really going to help you. This truly and honestly is step 1 of your offer, because if you're not absolutely certain who you're talking to and what that person wants and what they're trying to avoid and how you can help them get there through the thing that they're going to buy from you, it's kind of a no-go from there. The second thing that your irresistible offer needs is probably one of the biggest questions I've been asked over the years as the leader of the Free Mama, and it has to do with pricing. What is your pricing strategy for your irresistible offer? One thing to consider is value-based pricing. And this is where we make sure that the perceived value of the thing that you're selling, whether this is a coaching program or a course, or you are still working as a service provider on someone's team, we need to make sure the perceived value of what they get is very much higher than what they're actually paying for your services. And this can be done whether you have a low ticket offer or you're selling something that costs tens of thousands of dollars. One pro tip for you here is to learn about price anchoring. When we have price anchoring, we're comparing what we are selling to something else that's a lot more expensive. If you've ever been told on a sales call that your offer is too expensive or it costs too much money, you might be thinking in your mind, well, expensive compared to what? Go ahead and answer that question for your prospective clients before you get to the part where you ask them to buy. When you anchor your pricing compared to something else that is costing them a lot more, maybe the cost of not hiring you, and you're making it tangible for them, all of a sudden your pricing doesn't seem so expensive. Another thing to consider is tiered pricing. This is where after a sales conversation or even on your sales page of your website, you are giving them choices. So you are saying, hey, here's this really great option that answers what you want, but also maybe there's this upsell option where there's even more value and maybe you're even solving additional problems. Consider this your basic, premium, and VIP package offer. When you are catering to these different levels, you're going to appeal to different clients with varying budgets, but also different degrees degrees of necessity for the problem that you solve. And lastly, please do not rule out psychological pricing. I know we get sick of seeing those $997 offers all over the internet, but there's a reason that people aren't selling their course for $1,000. Psychologically, these weird numbers that are just under sort of a budget threshold in our mind, they seem appealing to us, which is why more people are going to be able to buy, and it creates the impression of either affordability or the value that you are offering at that rate. All of these different strategies combined are going to make up your pricing strategy, which you have got to take into consideration before putting your offer out there. Okay, the third thing that your offer simply must do, and it is really important that it does it before your customer or client or your prospect comes to the table with this, is overcoming their objections. Everybody is going to have buying objections, but when we can proactively address our customers' concerns, it gives them more trust in us. It also reduces the barriers to buying. Their objections could be about price, time commitment, effectiveness of your offer, or even relevance in how it applies to them. Regardless of their objection, it's part of your job in delivering what the offer is in that marketing messaging and your sales messaging. It's part of your responsibility to help overcome those objections. We're not trying to convince anybody to buy your stuff who isn't actually a good fit, but when you've nailed your audience and your messaging's on point, and you take care to overcome any hesitations that might be a barrier to them taking advantage of your offer, which is going to help them, you are doing them a service. You've got to make sure that you're incorporating that into your strategy. If you're watching this and you are an online business owner, there's a pretty good chance that you have heard of the Hermosis. There is something that I lovingly call the Hermosis stack, and I learned this in $100 million offers. Purple book. You can go find it on Amazon. It's pretty cool. I'll link down to it below. I learned a lot. I treat this book actually kind of like a textbook, but the thing that I found the most valuable was when there was an exercise in it where you could go through all of the reasons why your clients wouldn't be successful. What are the thoughts that they're thinking? What are their fears? What are their concerns about hiring you or dealing with this problem inside of their personal life or their business, depending on what it is that you do? And you list them all. And then you go back through that list and you turn them all into a product, a service, part of your offer, part of your value stack to them. So you're literally knocking down their objections one by one. I find this activity so insanely effective, both for you as the business owner coming up with your offer, but it also sort of kills two birds with one stone because you're also creating a bonus structure unknowingly that is going to do that positioning that we talked about, but it's also going to help you with your perceived value of what you're offering. A lot of what you create when you do this offer can be a one to many. You can create a template that overcomes an objection that you create one time and you give to all your future clients, even if you're still working as a one-to-one service provider. So get creative when it comes to overcoming their objections, and you might even consider using ChatGPT or other AI to help you start brainstorming what these things could be. Okay, the fourth thing that all Irresistible offers have that I see a lot of people missing, and I don't think it's our fault, I think I do this too sometimes when I'm not careful. It's one of those you can't read the label from inside the bottle situations, is we have to focus on the end result. What is the transformation of your offer? Not what do they get. This is sort of the benefits versus features conversations where you have to convey what is the actual end result of hiring you. When someone gives you their money, who do they become? What happens in their life, in their business? What is the transformation that takes place? Not what are the deliverables of that offer. One way to figure out your benefits over features is by asking yourself why you included each of these in your offer. If you don't have a really good reason, it may be time to trim some of that fat, quite frankly, because you're not increasing the perceived value with just more. It actually creates some confusion, which we're going to talk about in a second. However, if you know why you decided to do Voxer access instead of just weekly Zoom calls, or why you throw in this template or this mini course to your offer instead of not doing it, and you have a really good reason, you need to use that reason when you are delivering the information about your offer in a sales setting. You need to tell them what is the benefit of having Voxer access, not the fact that they have Voxer access. If this one feels hard for you, go ahead and talk to me down in the chat below. Let me know what your offer is and what's the transformation. If you can't come up with it, we'll talk back and forth in the comments, because I want to make sure that you nail this piece, because if you're unclear on the transformation, it's likely that you're not going to make the sales conversions that you want to make on your offer. Okay, number 5 is one of my favorites because I am sort of a fulfillment junkie. I love our free mamas. I show up in our membership every day. I do all of the coaching. It's like my family, and I try to get to know every single member as well as I can and what's happening inside of their business. Taking care of my customers is what makes me different than a lot of other memberships and a lot of other coaching programs out there, where the person who you're seeing online is actually sort of gate kept from the community itself. They're bringing in accountability people and other people, and then the leader just talks at you. I take a lot of pride in forming personal relationships with people in my community. That is a way that I add personalization. A really great offer will have some sort of personalization. Whether you're doing this yourself or you're bringing in team, make sure that you're tailoring your specific offer to meet the needs of each person who's going to come into it. Whether you have a one-to-many business model right now, or you're serving people one-on-one, or you have an agency, the more that you can systemize, the more that you can grow and scale. But the more that you personalize, the more that you will convert and have happy customers for a really, really long time. It's also worth saying that personalization is going to increase the perceived value of what you're selling, meaning you can charge more for the same thing the more you personalize it to the individual buyer. Okay, number 6, are you leveraging sales psychology honestly? And here's the big kicker, because unfortunately there's not a consensus in the online space about what is in integrity and what is not. I think there's a way to be really truthful as a marketer and an entrepreneur making sales that doesn't take advantage of people, but still leverages what we know about sales psychology to get people to take action. One way that we do this is with scarcity and urgency. Whether this is exclusive releases, limited editions, a limited time offer, or a capacity that you will sell out, it's really important to have something there in the realm of scarcity and urgency to get people to move. The kicker here is that it has to be real. I see a lot of people creating false scarcity and urgency to get people to buy, and it's really dishonest. And for me, in the long run, it erodes trust. And I don't love the bro marketing or like churn and burn sales tactics that are out there. I think that if you can improve what you're doing and how you're doing it, that the lifetime value of really, really loyal customers is going to win the long game in business. Another thing that you can do when it comes to sales psychology is risk reversal. So depending on what type of online business you have, maybe you offer some sort of guarantee. Maybe it's a no questions asked, 30-day window. Maybe as a service provider, you even offer some sort of guarantee on their satisfaction. Or I've even seen companies who run ads guarantee that they will deliver a certain number of leads because their systems are so dialed in. Now, we know logically we can't make everybody happy all the time, but it will increase your conversions. So that means even if people do come back and they ask for a refund, or you don't hit your benchmark or whatever that is for your specific business, due to the increase in conversions you're making for your irresistible offer, it should offset to still be more profitable. The final thing that all irresistible offers have is simplicity. Don't overcomplicate this. Do not get stuck in this internet tantrum of hustling and more is better and more is more. More is not more. Simple is more. Less is more. A confused mind never buys. So by adding a ton of stuff to your programs, you're probably going to create a little bit of confusion, and you might not get those conversions that you're looking for. This also applies to your marketing messaging. If you're using a bunch of complex words or industry jargon that the average audience member or purchaser isn't going to understand, it's going to be confusing. I know that when I first launched the Free Mama movement, I was working specifically with moms to bring them into the freelance space, and I had to do a lot of education on what freelancing was. Now, in a post-pandemic world, I don't have to do as much educating, and now I'm working more with existing business owners, and so it's a totally different conversation. But if I were to go to a newbie and start talking about specific online platforms or conversion rates or things like that, it would be really overwhelming and confusing. They might not think that what I'm talking about is for them. Don't overcomplicate it. Make it clear, make it concise, make it awesome. Now, if you need help doing just that, making sure that your irresistible offer is in fact awesome, I have 7 things that you need to make sure that you convey every single time you are talking about your offer. Whether this is a reel, a Facebook post, a landing sales page with copy all over it, it doesn't matter. Part of your webinar, whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you are including these 7 things. The first is clearly identify their pain point. The second is present your offer as their solution. The third is to translate those features into benefits. Don't just sell what they're getting, sell the transformation. Number 4 is to highlight the emotional and the practical benefits of all of these things that they're going to get inside of your value stack. Number 5 is to make sure you use social proof. Now, if you are new to the online game and you haven't been helping a lot of people, you can either go help someone for free, help them get a result. Now you've got social proof, or use yourself as a case study if you have already done the thing that you're now trying to go and do and teach other people. For the first 5 months of my webinar back in 2017, I was my only case study, and it got the ball rolling until I had enough other social proof that I could add to go help even more people. Number 6, make sure you're addressing those common objections. If you're not going to answer those questions and concerns before they arise, they're going to talk themselves out of buying your offer. Number 7, make sure you include a clear call to action. Tell them what to do next. Make it easy for the people. Make it easy on yourself to make more sales with your irresistible offer. And be sure to emphasize the value of the offer itself. Here's your call to action. Now, besides talking to me down in the chat, if you need any coaching support, I would love to talk to you. Make sure you sign up for our this is a brand new training all about how you can make more money without working more hours. This is a huge topic among service providers. What are those things that you need to do to make sure that you are maximizing your profits without sacrificing your lifestyle? I've been coming to you live from inside my RV. My family started traveling full time this past year. My husband and I are both self-employed. We love the interwebs because it gives us this opportunity to know how to make our own money, help other people while spending time with our family and living our best life. And I want to help you do the same. And I'm going to show you exactly how my 3-step process to having a life first business inside this training. So make sure you go check out the link. I'm going to put it down below here. I'm also going to put it down in the comments. I'm going to make it super easy on you so you can go click it and check it out. Let me know what you think. And if you have any other questions, you know where you can find me. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of Free Mama TV. We will be back with more soon. And if there's ever anything you want to hear from me, let me know. Send me a message, follow on Instagram, all the things. I'll see you there. Can't wait to check out your irresistible offer.